this is Rhonda from Rhonda's Country Kitchen, and I had asked y'all to request some things that y'all would like to see me cook, and I've gotten 4 requests for what I'm going to do tonight, which is some country fried steak with some milk gravy. And I'm going to start out with, I've got my little cube steak here, and although it's already cubed, I like to tenderize it some more. So I'm just going to take my little mallet and tenderize it a little bit and show you how I do it. Nothing fancy, and I like to get it pretty flat and thin so that it cooks easy, cooks quick, and doesn't take much effort. Can take out some aggression. All right, I'm gonna just move this out of the way. And I'm just going to lightly season the cube steak because the flour is already going to have a lot of seasoning in it. So we're not going to be doing too much. Just a little salt, pepper, a little onion powder, and a little garlic powder. I'm just going to season this up. Then I'm going to be making the dredge, the flour and milk mixture. And I'll show y'all how I do that. All right, got the flour, got the pepper on it. All right, I don't want to touch it. Got me some onion powder and some garlic powder. Like I said, nothing fancy because we're going to season the flour and make it good there. All right. Now you can just do salt and pepper. You don't have to do this. I know some people like a lot of seasoning. Some people don't like much. So, all right. Now I'm gonna wash my hands and I'm gonna come back and we're gonna dredge it. All right, y'all. I'm gonna make my little seasoned flour. And I use about 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, because I'm going to steal a little bit of that flour and into my egg wash. I know a lot of people just does the egg in the milk, but I like to add just a little bit of flour to make it look kind of like batter almost, to stick to the steak so it doesn't crumble off. All right, got about 1.5 cups of that. All right, I'm gonna do, so I've got my 1.5 cups of flour, and I'm gonna do 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. And then I'm gonna start putting my spices in that's gonna make it good. Now I like a lot of black pepper, you may or may not. If y'all have seen anything I've done, you will see that I like a lot of black pepper. And you want to do about 1 teaspoon of the onion powder as well as the garlic powder. And I'm going to add a little paprika, about 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, and some Cajun seasoning. And I know if you don't like it spicy, don't be scared. It's not going to be hot. It's just going to kick it up, give it some flavor. That's it. And I do about 1/2 teaspoon of that. And of course, some salt. Go in with about 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Now I'm going to get my little whisk and whisk this up and get it all mixed up, get it happy. And this is going to be our seasoned flour for the steak. Now I'm going to take about 1/2 cup of this seasoned flour, and I'm going to just drop it in the other because that's going to be our little egg wash. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn the eye on because you want the pan to get pretty hot. And because if your pan's not hot enough, then your batter is not going to stick, and that will be a problem because everything's going to be crumbled in the bottom of the pan. So now I'm going to crack my egg. All right, and I'm going to pour just a little bit of milk to make a batter. You don't want it too thick, but you want it thick enough to stick to the meat. Maybe about a half a cup of milk in that. I'm just going to whisk that around. Because we want that to be nice and smooth. All right, I'm gonna get my little platter so I can put my cube steak on. And I think I'm gonna add a little hot sauce in here too, just for some flavor. You don't have to do that. Like I said, it doesn't make it spicy, it just enhances the flavor. All right, I'm gonna put a little hot sauce in here. About a teaspoon of hot sauce, just like I said, just enough for some flavor. You don't wanna scorch your esophagus or nothing like that. Just a little for some flavor. All right, I'm gonna take my piece of cube steak that's just been pepper, salt, and garlic powder and onion powder. I'm gonna just dredge it in this flour. Nice big pieces because I pounded it out and tenderized it. Now we'll just dredge it. Not really an easy way to do this without getting your hands nasty. All right, we'll just kind of let it drip off the excess. We'll go put it back in this flour. If you're nice nasty, this ain't the meal for you. Just use your hands. Use what God gave you. All right, we'll flip him over. And this is what you should have. Nice, big, floured pieces of cube steak. And I'm gonna get the rest done, and we'll get back to frying it in just a second. All right, y'all, we're ready to get this cube steak cooking, and I've got it coated. Now I will say one little tip: if you wanna put it in the refrigerator for a little bit and let it sit while it's coated, that helps also with the bread and staying on, because that's sometimes a problem. Now the heat has got to be good and hot, and you can just, one little tip I do is take a little piece of flour, and if the flour turns brown, your pot is too hot. So, see how that does? That's just fine. So, I'm gonna get my first little cube steak in there. If I can pick it up. Lord. You don't want to overcrowd your pan. That is one thing. I'm actually just going to cook one piece at a time on this, just to try to keep my little toppings on, my little goodies on there. And but you can see it's good and hot, bubbling, and it doesn't take long, because we've pounded it out and it's really flat. So you just want to cook it about 4 or 5 minutes on each side. And don't be dilly-dallying trying to flip it back and forth to see if it's brown enough. Just kind of let it go and do its thing and just give it some time. Now mine's cooking really, really fast. We don't want it burnt. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a little flip, because we want it to stay nice and crunchy. Now I've got my oven preheated to 225, so that whenever I take them off and start to make the milk gravy, you don't want it to get all soggy and sad. So I'm just going to stick them in the oven and let them stay warm while I show y'all how I do my milk gravy. All right, y'all, it's time to make that milk gravy. Now, I have poured all the grease off in here, and I saved just a little bit of the crispy goodness that's in there. And I'm gonna start off with about a half a stick of butter. We'll let that melt down a little bit, and I'm gonna get my flour. And I'm just gonna put my little flour in here, start whisking it around in this butter. You want it to cook down because you don't want that a flour taste. Now you don't have to have the brown part in here. You can just clean the pan and just start, if you want some really just white gravy. But I'm just gonna whisk this, get it rolling. And I know that sound is annoying. Now I do something everybody don't always do. I put a little chicken broth in mine. Nothing fancy, just a little Food Line chicken broth. If I have some broth that I cook myself, I'll use that, which is better. But I'm just gonna put a little bit of chicken broth in here. After this cooks down just a little bit. Whoops, I'm spilling. Tell you what, I'm gonna turn that up a little bit. I had to turn it down because I was about to burn the house down. Let's cook this down. All right, I'm putting a little cup of chicken broth. And you can just use milk. You don't have to use this. And like I always say, make the recipe your own. You don't have to do it this way. I'm gonna go ahead and put about 1.5 cups of milk in there, because it does thicken up on you pretty quick. You can also use heavy whipping cream. You can just, like I said, make it your own. Now I'm just gonna whisk this, because we don't want no lumps. I've already got my little mashed potatoes ready to go. So Russ can dig in and do his little taste test. Now this is one of his favorite meals, as well as my daughter Summer. In fact, when I asked, what do y'all think I should cook, her first reaction was country fried steak and gravy. So I'm just gonna go ahead and season this now with the same seasoning that I seasoned the steak with. About a half teaspoon of garlic powder, about a half teaspoon of onion powder, salt and pepper. And I might add just a pinch of the Cajun seasoning as well. See how that's getting happy? It's thickened up, it's not lumpy. I'm gonna turn my eye up just a little bit now. But it's gonna be good on that steak that I got in the oven. Now, like I said on my last video, you gotta taste it. When you're cooking, you really do have to taste it. So I'm gonna get me a little spoon and just see what I need. If I need more salt, I need pepper. Everything always needs more pepper around our house. But let me get me a little spoon and give it a little taste and see where we're at. Okay. All right, I'm gonna turn it down and give it a little taste. I think that's about right. You've got that butter in there with the richness and the broth that just gives it a good little flavor. All right, y'all. That's all it is to country fried steak and gravy. I mean, it doesn't take long at all. It's a quick little supper or dinner. I am from the South where we say supper. But I'm gonna get the plate ready and we're gonna get old Russell to come in here and taste it. All right, y'all, it's Russ's favorite time of this little video, and that's the tasting part. So we've got our little mashed potatoes and milk gravy and the cube steak. And here he comes to give it a little taste. He's been waiting on it all day.
Hey, y'all. I've been behind the camera for this one a little bit. We tried something a little different. hopefully y'all like it. We like to show a little bit more of what she's cooking, so try something a little different. I can't wait. I've been smelling this and watching it cook this whole time. I'm telling you, y'all just don't know. This gravy with this steak is like butter. It's I'm telling you. I don't know if it's the chicken stock. I found out a little something different you did. I didn't know you put chicken in it, but hey.
Some little cooking secrets you didn't know about. It's tender.
Steak's tender. Crispy.
Good.
Perfect. It's perfect.
Good.
I'm gonna have a little bit of mashed potatoes. These are fresh cut mashed potatoes, not nothing out of the box.
Nope. Homemade.
That's how I get it. It don't stop. It don't stop, y'all. I hope our daughter, Summer, enjoys this one because it was inspired by her. It's her favorite, and it's one of my favorites.
Yep.
This is really one of my favorites. Love country fried steak.
When I asked my kids what should I cook, she immediately, Mama, you got to cook some country fried steak. So, and I do have a list, and so I'll try to get to them. I've had a few other people request this, so I figured I'd go ahead and knock that out.
Yeah, you knocked it out.
And
knocked it out.
show y'all how I do it.
We're gonna cut this camera off, and I'm gonna dig in for real, y'all. Listen, take the time to subscribe. We appreciate you checking the channel out, but
we need one person.
Oh yeah, she's at 50.
One
In
person.
2 weeks, she's at 50, so that's awesome. She's off to a great start. But yeah, a lot of people on YouTube will watch videos and they don't take the time to subscribe, and it really helps with the content and getting their stuff shown. And I know when people try this, they're gonna come back. I have no doubts whatsoever. The people that know her know that. So anyway, smash that button, and we'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm not gonna take over. I'm gonna let her do her outro.
Nope. Like I've said before, if y'all have anything that you'd like me to try, just let me know. We'll see you next time.